Hey, what's up, Skyball? Here with Imagination Creation Films, and today we're talking about this, the Deity THEOS wireless lav system, and I think I'm in love. So before we get started, a little housekeeping. Deity did send this over for a review, but no money has changed hands, and Deity has no say whatsoever in the review. So you can rest assured that you'll get the same old, fair, lovable, honest review as always. So if the thought of miking up a puppet makes you laugh.
Hey, Robert?
Yeah.
I need to mount your mic back.
Okay.
Is it okay if I lift your shirt?
Yeah.
Subscribe. So this is the Deity THEOS wireless lav system, and although it's certainly not Deity's first lav system, it is the first one that honestly feels like they were targeting a much higher end market, or to put it bluntly, targeting the bigger guys. Now, you can buy a THEOS in a variety of configurations, but I'll be talking about the two-person kit today, as that's what I have to review. And although I don't do comparisons on reviews, I will do a brief comparison on the size of the THEOS system versus the Sennheiser G3 that's been my daily driver for the past 7 years. So here, see, it's a lot thinner. About the same size, but a lot thinner. So that's your comparison. So in this two-person kit, you'll get 2 transmitter body packs, a dual receiver for use on camera or in your field bag, 2 of Deity's WLAV Pro omnidirectional mics that are all tangled up right here, a variety of antennas, cables, belt clips, cold shoe adapter, some Deity branded lithium non-rechargeable batteries, and a nice weatherproof carrying case. These all are machined out of aluminum and well, have a very smooth and kind of premium feel to them. Now, there's a lot of features packed into these units, and for units sold in the US, less features. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, these are all world packs, meaning they have the ability to be used on many of the world bands allocated for wireless. They can operate from 550 megahertz all the way up to 928 megahertz with obviously some breaks in the middle. The transmitters have internal recording capabilities, so you can record 24-bit or 32-bit float audio while you transmit wireless to your camera. Except in the US, where that's protected by a patent. So in the US, you can record or transmit, but not both at the same time. More on that later. You can adjust your power output to match your requirements or the frequency requirements. The transmitters have built-in time code, so you can sync all of your transmitters and cameras all the time code. Now, obviously that doesn't mean if you're just using them as wireless, but it's when you're using the internal recording. You can be happy knowing that, well, your internal recorded audio is in sync. Now let's go through the transmitter so you can see all the features. First, pop open the door. Just inside, you'll find a micro SD card for recording. Now, pop in 2 AA batteries. You can use alkaline lithium, nickel metal hydride, or the Deity branded lithium batteries that are actually quite good. Next, screw in a red-tipped antenna to start. And then plug in your microphone on top. You'll notice a headphone jack on the side and a USB on the other for offloading sound recordings if you don't want to remove the micro SD. There are 4 buttons on the front. The left is the power button and back button. Hold it for 2 seconds to power on, and then the middle 2 buttons are up and down, and then the right button is menu or enter. On the main screen, we can see the mic level, the mic gain setting, the name of the pack, the frequency, and the battery level, and its transmission power as low, medium, or high, even though there's 4. Let's press menu. Right off the bat, we see frequency. We'll adjust that later, but if you press the right checkmark button, it will enter the frequency menu. This is also where you'll pair your transmitter to your receiver. Back on the main menu, you'll see gain, which is adjustable to 0 to 30 decibels. Just press check and then the up and down buttons to adjust while talking into the mic and monitoring the output. For my voice, which can be loud at times, go figure, I use about 18 decibels of gain on the mic for my hat placement. Next, we have the level, which is the bias setting for the mic. You can select line, 3 volt or 5 volt. The included mics use 3 volts typically. Next, we have timecode sync. In there, we can select off for no timecode. Auto allows the receiver to update timecode anytime it receives a signal. Once allows you to jam timecode and then remove a timecode device, and it will maintain that timecode. And free, which will run internal timecode with no input accepted. Next, we can move down to set frame rate. There is a jam button to trigger a jam. Next over is the Deity timecode group, so you can group Deity timecode devices together, and then you can set the time manually should you desire. Next, the record option will take you to the main screen with a record button to record manually. Next is the recording mode. In there, we can set the bit depth of recording, either 24 or 32-bit float. Next, you can also set the record option to always recording, manual recording, and then sync recording, which will record automatically when timecode is synced. Next, move to the next menu item, RF power. In here, you can select 10, 25, 50, and 100 milliwatts. Now, these are settings you'll want and or need to configure based on your use case, your proximity to the transmitter, the RF interference in the area, and the legal requirements for the wireless band that you are using. If you're using a very close area to the camera, you can select 10 milliwatts and save power. And you might then have to use 100 milliwatts if your area is very noisy or you're far from talent, as long as the band you're using allows that much power legally. Next is the low cut filter for the microphone, which you can, help keep your audio clean from the heavy breath pops and the odd vocal notes from talent, etc., etc. Next would be the device ID, where you can name your device. Next is a simple file page where you can play back any files that have been recorded. And then we come to the LEDs. You can disable the LEDs on the unit in case they might show through clothing. Monitoring is basically the headphone level for monitoring. In Bluetooth, we can turn on Bluetooth and reset to reconnect to Sidus Link or other devices. Battery is where you're going to select the battery type so that the unit can optimize for the varying voltages. In system, you can change screen readout, brightness, you can see the SD card space and reformat the card. And then reader sets the USB port for data transfer. Next, you can assign a couple of hotkeys for common uses. And then you can perform a complete system reset, view the firmware version, or upgrade the firmware. You can then set the date and then the time and the format of the date and finally the language on the screen. So now we can move through the transmitter and then tie them all together. The transmitter has 2 SMA antennas and 2 TRS connectors, A and B. The buttons are the same as the transmitters. On the screen, we see signal strength for transmitter 1 and 2, Bluetooth connection status, battery level, and for each transmitter, we can see the levels, timecode, mic reception status, frequency, and device name. On the menu, we can go into frequency and then scan for clean frequencies, and it will show the cleanest option that you can choose. You can also manually select the frequency. If you complete a scan, you can also select up to 10 frequencies to assign as spare for easy access. You can then pair the frequency info to transmitter 1 and 2 individually. You can also select the color for your transmitter and the frequency range you want to operate in. Next is output. You can configure output A and B to a couple of different options. A can either be wireless pack 1 in mono or wireless pack 1 on the left channel and wireless pack 2 on the right channel. Then output B can be either wireless 2 or 1 and 2, or it can be a headphone monitor out. And this allows some, nice flexibility. Next, on level, you can adjust the output levels of 1 and 2 and the monitor out. And you can name this pack as well. Battery is the same as the transmitters. Sleep allows you to turn off the radios on the transmitters remotely. You could sleep them, say, for a 1-hour lunch, for instance, and you can wake them by exiting the page. And then RF set allows you to remotely turn off the transmitter's radio. A note here, there is no indication that the power is turned off, so this is a place to look when troubleshooting. And then there appears to be no way to turn it on from the transmitter if you've disabled it from the receiver, unless you do a system reset. So now, let's get everything working. When you first power up your packs, they will have to connect to the Sidus Audio app, and they require location information so they can appropriately set the frequencies and the features that are legal for your area. Sadly, this is the moment where record internally while transmitting goes bye-bye for US users, and despite my efforts of trying to trick it, I failed. This is due to a US patent for the feature owned by Zaxcom. Now, once that initial location setup is complete, you can move to the packs or stay in the app. Let's go to the packs first. On the transmitter, select your band and then frequency or scan. Set your RF power. I like to turn down my monitoring level and then adjust the mic gain. On the receiver, select the band you chose on the transmitter, then select the frequency or with the scan and pair you already linked. Set your output type so you can have your pack on 1 and 2 on the appropriate channels for what you desire. Set your output levels as necessary and you're rocking. On the app, if you haven't already connected them to Bluetooth, you'll need to do that via Bluetooth reset on all the units and then add them. Then simply select them and you can make all of the changes we did in the packs, with the exception of changing the battery type. Don't know why you can't do that. You can also go into the timecode settings and configure them and sync all. So let's get into my thoughts on these. In testing, these packs have been pretty solid so far. I did have one of the transmitters lose connection to the receiver once early on, but that hasn't happened since. So I'm assuming that some kind of firmware update fixed it. The packs themselves are pretty slim and, well, as mentioned before, the smooth aluminum or aluminium, for those of you in England, the finish is really nice. Deity includes several sets of antennas for the various bands, so you can just swap them out if you switch bands. The lapel mics are, well, very, very small, about the size of a COS 11D. They sound really, really good. I initially felt they were just kind of a little thin sounding, but they're actually very natural sounding, and add a little EQ and they sound quite good. The mic wires, well, they're of a rubber of sorts, and well, this could be good and it could be bad. It can be a little clingy to clothing, which can, keep it from slipping, but it could also be clingy to clothing, which can cause it to get snagged and pulled, and well, then you're buying a new mic. Here is an audio test with and without EQ, so you can hear the difference of my lovely voice. He opened the door and cast a mournful gaze around the room. It was a tiny space, scarcely more sophisticated than a shack, with flaking walls and a few sticks of battered furniture, including a dilapidated bed, a grimy mirror, a crumbling fireplace, and a couple of chairs which looked as if they might fall apart if a fly landed on them. He opened the door and cast a mournful gaze around the room. It was a tiny space, scarcely more sophisticated than a shack, with flaking walls and a few sticks of battered furniture, including a dilapidated bed, a grimy mirror, a crumbling fireplace, and a couple of chairs which looked as if they might fall apart if a fly landed on them. Next, comes the range testing in various conditions and various wattages. So we're going to do the range test now on the Deity THEOS. Apologize for the wind noise. Yesterday it was nice and calm, but this is now the third time we're recording this for reasons. So you might hear a little bit of wind noise, but my assistant behind the camera will be listening for static and such. And let's go find out. All the way down at the end of the driveway there is about 650 feet. And so we should probably make it, my guess, about halfway. Come on, Rex, join me. Walk with me, dog. It's a gorgeous, actually, it's a cool day. Where you going, Rex? Hey, you gotta walk with me. We're just gonna see until we get some static. What? And we're just gonna keep on going until we get our first set of static, and then we're going to try to walk through the woods, see just how far we can go. Body pack is right here on my side, simulating just like oh good, Rex is at least off camera doing that. And we should be, bees everywhere, bees. Your firearms are useless against them. We should keep on going here. We're a little over halfway now. It's a long way down here. Hopefully there's no static, but we'll wait to hear. A lot of birds around. That's certainly something. We are sitting at 100 milliwatts too on the power, just so we can see how far we can get before we have any issues. Don't you go taking off now, dog. So are we still good? We're still good. We're almost to the driveway, or the end of the driveway. So we'll wait for the set. So we have made it to here. I'm about to run off some dogs here. Are we clear and crisp and clean? Of the way. That's a good 400 feet at least from there. Let's bring it back. We'll go about what? All right, we're getting some crackle here, so we're going to come back a little bit. We're going to go probably halfway, about 325 feet maybe. We'll see if how this works for us. I mean, once you get your crackle, it's, you know, you didn't get the dialogue. So right here, ever so slightly more than halfway, but we'll call it 325 feet. We're good here. We got good audio. We're good. Let's walk through the woods. Body pack is on my right side, which would be transmitting through my body. And we're walking into the dense woods. Crackles. All right, I'm going to transfer the body pack to my left side just so we can make it clear and fair. It is now on my left side. Can you hear me fine now? All right, we'll just keep walking through the woods now. We're kind of walking sideways at 300-ish feet. And we're just trying to see. There's a lot of oak trees and a bunch of other trees, yopons here. We're just trying to make sure that the sound is good through all of that, which will simulate going through some walls. A little crackle right there. As I was manhandling the pack and putting it in my right side, because I turned around. I'm coming back. And now we are walking back. We'll, kind of wrap this thing up. I mean, yesterday was not as fun of the video. Well, actually today was probably less fun because we were killing ants yesterday. Leaf cutters. If y'all don't have those, good for you. Every day is better when you don't have leaf cutters. And I think we got them. Well, maybe. Could be this lovely wind. Don't know. But we're at 560 megahertz, 564 I think. We did scan the area, got pretty good. Rex says the deities are quite nice. He likes them. He thinks they're quite useful. And yeah, that's it. Range test. Got about 400, luckily. I guess if you had a nice butterfly antenna, you probably would be able to go even a little further. So there you go. A couple of things that are nice touches are the headphone jacks on each transmitter. You'll be able to tune into the mic locally. Also, the USB-C ports can be used for power. So not much useful on the transmitters, but using the receivers in a sound bag, you'll be able to power off of your back battery. Now that's nice. The Sennheiser locking TRS connectors for the mics are an industry standard, but not necessarily the industry standard. However, for packs in this price range, it's nice to have compatibility with a bunch of different mics in this class. And then Deity just announced a phantom-powered transmitter pack, and soon it looks like what would be an XLR module, which would be perfect for wireless boom pole mics. It's an entire system that's, well thought out. And, well, the 2-pack comes with this solid case with seriously everything you need, including batteries. That's awesome. So what are the pros and cons? Well, pros, it's extremely well built, and, well, it's a capable design for the system. I really appreciate that they aren't using 2.4 gigahertz. I mean, that frequency is so crowded, and it's got problems cutting through walls and other solid objects. And although everyone thought it was great at first using 2.4 gigahertz, there wasn't much on there at that time. And then soon they realized how crowded it became. And, well, running at 550 to 928 megahertz, that was the pro smart move. I also love that they decided to use standard AA batteries instead of rechargeable internal batteries. I find rechargeable internals to be annoying in this industry, honestly, because you can be down. The sound quality was really good. Cons, I wish the receiver had timecode built in, so you could at least have one less device on your camera, but it is what it is. The lack of the ability in the US to record and transmit at the same time, it has to be mentioned. I would never suggest going against a patent, and I'm guessing the license fee was unreasonable or unattainable for these. I can only assume that's why we don't have the ability. I don't know. And lastly, the lack of the mute switch, well, that's easily accessible by talent is well, it's something I would have loved to see. I mean, sometimes talent likes to go pee-pee, and you like for them to quickly do that. So, what do you think of all this? Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. I'd love to know your thoughts. And remember to like and subscribe and support the channel by purchasing through any of the affiliate links. Also, you can really stand out and become a channel member as well. It allows you to be part of the cool kids club, finally, like these top tier members. And as always, as I like to leave it, don't let your passions center around your life. Let your life center around your passions.